Welcome everyone to the Scaling Smart podcast, where we bring together industry leaders, entrepreneurs, and innovators to discuss key insights, strategies, and their experiences that have driven success both for themselves and their customers. I'm Billy Mitchell, your host, and today I'm excited to introduce a special guest, Ramon Salinas, owner of RSX Marketing, which is a digital marketing agency helping service providers strengthen their online credibility, attract qualified leads, and convert trust into growth. I have a feeling we're going to talk quite a bit about trust. So, Ramon, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining. How are you today?
Billy, I'm doing well. Hope you are too. Thank you very much for having me here.
Absolutely. It was quite the adventure just getting this all set up, behind the scenes technical stuff. We're finally here. I'm excited to chat.
It happens. It's all
Yep.
good.
And as a reminder to you, as well as our guests, we break our podcast up into three different sections. Number one, we want to get to know you and your organization. Number two, your industry and ideal client profile. And then number three, kind of the meat and potatoes, why we're here, growth and scale. What's worked for you, what's not worked for you, and what does the future look like? So with that, are you ready to jump right on in?
Let's do it.
Cool. So let's start with getting to know you and the company with a 90-second kind of elevator pitch. So when you meet somebody, what do you do? Why do you
Sure.
do it?
Sure. If you offer a service, we help you have a trustworthy online presence so that prospects feel confident choosing you. Because what is the first thing that is required for somebody, anybody, to buy something, whether it's a product or a service? Trust is the answer. If a prospect looking at you, your website, your social media, your Google profile, or even your business card, if they don't feel trust, they don't take the next step. They just move on. So for it, and that is especially powerful and, like I said, a requirement for service businesses. We help them have a trustworthy online experience so that they can show that online. They can show online their real world professionalism and high standards.
That's great. Yeah. And we were briefly chatting, but we're in the same industry, and trust is key. Oftentimes when I'm talking to customers or prospects, I acknowledge and recognize that there's a lot of really bad service providers in our industry. And I think historically has given the marketing agency and specifically digital a bad rep, because the reality is anybody with a laptop in a garage can start a business like ours, but really that doesn't make you a marketer, doesn't make you successful or good at what you do. And trust is the key driver to that. So I agree.
It absolutely is. And there is a lot of that, but there are also a lot of good people with good intentions that just don't see the entire context and the entire dimension of what a business is. Like you say, anybody with a laptop can do a lot of the things we do, and they can probably do a decent enough job. But tactics alone, tech alone, it's not enough to help a business grow.
Yeah, absolutely. So for a moment, let's take a little bit of a step back in time. Now that we know who you are in your business, how'd you get here? What's kind of the growth path of Ramon? I understand you were an engineer, I think is what you had said earlier. So
Correct.
that's quite the transition as well. But tell us a little bit about your history, what you've done, what you're doing, and how you got here.
Well, actually, like Steve Jobs said in some speech, you never see the path going forward. You cannot connect the dots going forward, only looking back, right? I did study computer science, so I'm an engineer, and I worked in tech for two and a half decades, corporate, and mainly as a consultant. And when I left that and I decided to start my own business, I obviously needed to figure out, okay, what I want to do. I didn't want to work for corporate anymore. I wanted to have my own thing. And that first business was actually e-commerce. And very quickly, like within the first 2 months, I realized, I need to learn marketing. Because before, in the companies that I worked for, there were marketing departments, but they didn't really do marketing. They were more like branding, which is very important. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the marketing that you need when you're a small business owner, right? So that got me into marketing. and being the nerd that I am and proud of it, I jumped headfirst into taking courses, reading books, following people, learning as fast and as much as possible. And dare I say, I got kind of good at it. And then just by applying myself really and developing the skill. Fast forward a few years, and I, through connections from that e-commerce world, I was invited to participate in to start a digital marketing agency under a franchise umbrella. And I was like, okay, well, seems like I can do this. Let's give it a try. And that was 7 years ago. So that franchise company, the contract ended. I think was for the first 3 years, and then I had to decide, okay, do I want to continue doing this or not? And my decision was yes. Looking at the customers, the clients that we were helping, the local businesses that were growing and getting clients themselves from the work that we were doing, that was very satisfying. So I decided to continue with this business. So that's how we got into here, from engineer to marketer. But it's a combination of skills. Obviously, there are other things that we learn along the way, and they all come together to be able to help other businesses grow.
Yeah, that's great. And I like that quote that you referenced in looking back, right? Connecting the dots, looking back, because when I do look back, for me personally, a long time ago, I owned a pressure washing company. So I cleaned homes, and then I became a realtor, and then worked for a couple other agencies, and then another marketing company. And then that's where I learned that and grew into this. And I never would have guessed that that's how the path would have gone, but you're absolutely right. It's fun to look back at that, how you got here.
As long as we are willing to discover and keep our eyes open, good things will come.
That's good. All right, let's jump back into the business. So, if we were to bring you an ideal client right now, what do they look like? Tell us what they're experiencing, maybe some of their frustrations, and how are you serving them in a different way than your competitors?
I'll use an example for that. Right now, actually, about half of our clients are dentists. They're general dentists, orthodontists, in that area. We have others as well, but that's a good example. So an owner-led practice, service type of practice that has, I don't know, 1 to 3, maybe 5 locations. So they're small, but not that small, and that have 3 main concerns. They have some slow months, and that doesn't let them sleep. Or they have this constant uncertainty of client flow. That's another one that doesn't let small and medium business owners sleep at night. And another one is limited budgets. I think I'm describing almost any type of small and medium business, but that is true. That's the reality, and I am one of those. So I know it from the inside. So a business like that, a business owner like that wants to grow and is not taking fully advantage of their online presence. That's what we emphasize so much into that online presence being trustworthy. And we help them with that. We help them match their real world professionalism and high standards so that they are displayed online. And this goes beyond the website. I know that everybody listening to us right now are thinking, oh, so the website, that is just one part. That is just one part. There are many other components because think about it. I started out saying that for service businesses, especially, trust is a component. It's the first component because that's how we humans work. And everything we do is based on human psychology. We do judge a book by the cover, whether we like it or not. That's just human nature. So it doesn't have to be all bad. We can take advantage of that, so to speak. If you have a very flashy modern website, but that doesn't convey trust, that doesn't feel that prospect that just found you on a Google search or on an LLM search, they're looking at your website and they're like, this is not making me feel comfortable. They're not going to call the number on your site. They're not going to fill out the contact us form. They're just going to move on and they're not going to tell you. We don't want that to happen to good service businesses, whether you're a dentist, a CPA, any other wellness or medical clients like we have, or financial advisors. We also have a local HR firm. All of these companies offer great service, and they do very personalized, high quality service to their clients. But their online presence was not reflecting that. That's the type of clients that we want to help.
That's great. Um, in my company as well, we've worked with a few smaller companies that you're referencing, like the dentists and stuff, and it's highly competitive, right? So one of the best ways to stand out is to portray a level of trust, right, and to demonstrate the level of trust, so that when somebody is looking at your client versus their competitor, that needs to stand out, because otherwise you just look like the one of the rest of them.
That is correct, and it's not a standing out for the sake of standing out. I'm gonna repeat myself, but I think it's very important. This trust is not created by being fake, by having, like I said, a flashy website or very fancy graphics on your social media posts. Is by communicating what kind of brand you are and what kind of personality your service business has. Again, the dentist example makes it very, very easy. Dentistry in any type of wellness or medical is not evaluated like retail, like when you buy a $20 thing off Amazon. We evaluate it like healthcare. Think about a mom that's looking for a dentist for their kids, right? If they're looking at your social media, your websites, your Google Ads, any of the online presence options that are available, and they see visuals that are to you very professional, very clinical. To you, the owner, the dentist, you're like, okay, this is good. This is who I am. But to that mom on the other side, that's coming across as cold, as impersonal. That's the connection that we need to make. That's the transformation that we do for our clients, for their online presence. They do not lose the professionalism. They do not lose the showing their credentials and their history and their expertise. That is support. But showing that what type of care that mom and those kids will receive when they go to this dentist. That's what we need to portray. And that's what's going to create the trust for that mom to grab the phone and book an appointment. And the same applies for an accountant, for a CPA, for like the HR firm that I mentioned, for any type of service business. This is how us humans work. It is unconscious that we do it. And we choose immediately to take the next step or not. We just move on to the next one on the list that Google gave us. If we don't feel that immediate first level of trust. And then as we work with clients, that's not a one and done thing. You have to make sure that there are no leaks in this trust. Instead, we have to continue doing certain things to make sure that trust compounds over time. So that one mom that chooses you as her dentist or her CPA or her insurance provider tells other people and brings those referrals. And that other people that find you in the future still go through that process of developing trust to come to you for service.
It's good. I couldn't have said it better myself, and I think that you've got the right perspective in the right direction. So with that, let's take a little bit of a step higher, and let's look at the industry that we're both
Yes.
in, and I'm really curious to get your perspective. So, for the industry, where are we going? I used to say, where are we going in the next 5 to 10 years? I don't think we can
Mm-mm.
say that anymore. I think we've got to be
No.
this year to 3 years, right? So, walk me through what your vision is and where we're headed, and how are you planning on standing out?
Yes. So I'm gonna start backwards. I'm gonna start with that last one. Our internal system, we call it the trust marketing system. That's how we're going to stand out now, next year, and probably for the foreseeable future. But I agree with you that we cannot make 5, 10-year plans anymore in any business, much less in marketing. We have to do yearly planning and quarterly, broken down in quarterly chunks. I'm also a big productivity nerd, so different story for a different day. But I apply that. I eat my own dog food, right? And where are we going? The elephant in the room is AI.
Yep.
And it's not just sitting there. We're all talking about it, and we're all using it to some level. And it is changing so much and so fast that you can get whiplash just in a couple of hours of reading what everything that's going on. So we have to be very discerning and very conscious of while the tech is changing fast, and yes, it can be very, very useful, we have to keep the North Star as a reference. Is this helping me create trust for myself and for my clients? If it's not, then you don't have to do it. You don't have to just jump on it because it's the thing of the day, and that's very dangerous. A lot of, dare I say, younger companies, they just again go with the tactics, go with the tech jargon, and that's a problem. But hey, AI can be really good. It already can help a lot. So that's where we're going. There's going to be more of it.
Mhm.
There's going to be more opportunity with it. But we have to be very discerning on what is that opportunity and where it helps, where we might need to wait.
Yeah, I think AI, as a lot of people believe as well, is a bit of a double-edged sword. There's a lot of value that it brings, efficiencies it can create, but I do think it provides for a unique perspective on that trust factor, right? At what point do we just fully trust AI? Right now, I don't. Right? We always trust but verify, and and I think moving into the future, AI is going to definitely take care of a lot of the small task things
There
that
you
are
go.
just routine. But I think what will remain for a significant period of time, I hope, is our brain power, right? The value of thinking, the value of creativity.
There's one thing that no AI, no robot now or in the future will be able to replace, and that is being human. And in any business, we are humans working with humans.
Mm,
There's a phrase that I've been using for many years now because a lot of these service businesses that we work with, they're B2B, right? And they say, "Oh no, all these marketing tactics don't work for me because I'm B2B." And I tell them, well, remember that on the other side of B2B, there is a person.
hmm
You're still working with a person. Yeah, you're not selling, like I said, a $20 thing on Amazon. You're selling a service that is a lot, a big ticket item, but you're selling it to a person. Your service, big expensive service, like say a lawyer or a CPA or something like that, is helping another person develop their business. So the trust and verify is also a never-ending thing. It is very tempting to think, oh, can I just set this and forget it? No, that's an illusion. That's never going to happen. We always have to trust it, make sure that it's to a high standard that has a high level of trust. But we always verify. We always keep an eye on it, and that's never ending. That's not going to stop. Look, from AI, there will be other technologies also coming in the future. So we're going to go through this cycle many times over, many times over.
Absolutely. I'm excited about it. That's for sure. So
Yeah.
when we think about your business and growing the business into the future, walk me through some of the ways you're getting new customers today. Referrals. Are you doing kind of eating your own dog food as well, where you're doing some of the
That.
trust marketing? How about
Yes.
partnerships? Yeah, walk us through how you're growing right now.
Actually, yeah, we do eat our own dog food, and that's wonderful. That's online. But guess what? Like I said, we are humans working with humans. One area that has worked with us very, very well, and I expect it to continue to do so, is joint ventures. I love getting on the table with other marketing companies, with other marketing owners. Some people may hesitate on that. It's like, oh wait, that's your competition, and I'm like, maybe. We don't all do the same thing. We don't all do the exact same thing. So, are we competition? And even if that's the case, there's a market for everyone. The
Yeah.
market is huge. There are so many small and medium businesses out there. There's something, if I remember correct, something like 80 something percent of businesses in the US are small and medium. We all hear about the big giants because they're big and they're on the news. But the vast majority of businesses are small and medium. Just go Google it. It's on the SBA website, or use your favorite LLM. There's enough market for everyone. So I love being around marketers because I learn a lot from them. And we develop joint ventures. There's a good friend of mine, local here in the San Diego area. He also has a marketing agency. They do other stuff. They don't do the same stuff we do. We have very, very little overlap. When we identify that my customers can benefit from their services, or his customers can benefit from my services, we have this joint venture where we share, where we work together, and we don't hide it. They see my name, they see my company name. We're open about it. And they're his clients. He keeps the relationship, the front end of it, but they see our name. They see our logo in the monthly reports that we do. They get our weekly email with whether it is content that we produce for them or part of the approval process. We don't hide it. We're open about it. That's something that has helped us a lot, and I think it will continue. And that has nothing to do with AI. That's human to human relationships.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's something that I hope we can continue growing.
yeah, I love that. We actually grow quite a bit from partnerships as well. And to be honest, it's actually one of the better ways to grow for us. Because if we have a common client base and we can serve them in different ways, then there's a built-in level of trust, right? If I bring you a
Completely.
customer and I'm telling my customer, hey, you need to work with Ramon, they automatically trust you, and
Yes.
vice versa. And then I think too, working with partners like you're mentioning, you're focused on a common goal, which is serving the customer and driving success for the customer, because that equates to success for everybody else. And we've had just some of the best growth and success that way. So for you, what are some of those key simple characteristics of a partnership that creates success? Trust being
The
one of them.
align. Yeah, I was going to say that the alignment on our services creating trust, and trust being the result for our clients as well. And I'm going to add one. That's one. Also, being open about it. A lot of people, there's this term white label,
Right.
right? It's like, and don't get me wrong, I use it because it's available in the industry. There, if another business owner, they want to white label our service, meaning it's their brand and our name and my face is never shown, Okay, that's how they want to work. That's fine. Uh, But if I have my choice, I prefer to be just open about it. Like, look, Mr. Client, um, you have these two needs. Billy is an expert on delivering results for what you need. I need you to talk to Billy. And I'm going to be open about it. At least that's my personal style. So this alignment on trust and being open and honest about what we're doing and how we're doing it is huge. It's huge for me. And I'm going to add one more thing because we talked about getting around other marketers and other marketing companies like we are, but it's maybe this is a tip. There are also adjacent businesses and services that work for the same client. And this just happened yesterday. I was having one of these type of calls with the owner of a company that does billing and revenue management for dentists. And he
Mm,
saw that we work with a lot of dentists. He's like, "Hey, let's talk." And at the end of the conversation, he was like, "Hey, I want to bring you with some of my customers. They can really use what you guys do and the way, not just what you do, but the way you do it." And he's not a marketer. He handles the billing. He helps them collect. Which, by the way, if you don't collect, you don't have a business.
yep.
And so that's huge. And in any type of healthcare, but in this case it's dentist, that collection is a nightmare
Yeah.
because they have to go through insurance, and let's not get into that, but it's a process.
Yeah.
So also look at adjacent businesses, people that serve your same client, and you can have also collaborations and joint ventures with them.
That's good. Um, Well, first of all, this has been a great conversation, and I appreciate your time, especially with how difficult it was for me to get all the technology working. So I
Hey,
appreciate
happy
your
to be here,
patience.
Billy.
Yeah, this has been good. So I haven't prepped you for this, but I like to end my podcast with what I call a lightning round. So I just ask some fun
Mhm.
questions. Whatever first comes to your mind, would love for you to answer. And
Sure.
if you're ready, do you mind?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So coffee or tea?
Tea.
What's one tool or system you rely on to keep your organization running smoothly?
ClickUp is my project management software.
Very good. Favorite book, podcast, or resource that's influenced you the most?
Um, all of the above. Somebody that I really align with is Darren Hardy. I call him my mentor. He has podcasts, he has content, he has books.
Excellent. I'll have to check them out.
Well,
All right. What's one of the biggest challenges you face in your career, and how does it changed, how you do business today?
we are still very recent from COVID.
Yeah.
COVID affected our personal lives, not just our businesses. So coming out of that, let's keep it on the business end. Coming out of that was quite a challenge for everyone, and that made me, I'm assuming everyone, but that made me realize many things and realign many things. So that retrospection, forced
Yeah.
retrospection, now became a weekly thing. At the end of the week, it's on my calendar. It says weekly retro. Um,
That's great.
let's not wait for another disaster to happen. Let's do it on a regular basis.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to incorporate that. All right. Couple more. What's one bucket list item you've already checked off?
Oh, I'm not one to keep bucket lists. That
Sure.
doesn't mean I don't have things I want to do. There are so many things I want to do, but I don't keep them on a list. I love to travel. I've been able to travel to many places, but then there are more that I want to go. I love learning about other cultures,
Yeah.
trying other foods. I love languages. I speak almost three. I would say two and a half, and I want more. So I don't quite keep a list, but I do want to get to speaking five languages before I die. But there,
Excellent.
I'm
That's awesome.
putting it out there.
I love that. It's just as
I'm
a
at two and
follow
a
up.
half, so halfway
You're
through.
you're halfway there.
Yes.
So real quick, just as a follow up, what's one of your favorite places you've traveled?
Well, one of them is China.
Yeah,
China,
cool.
it's a from a cultural perspective, food
Yeah,
perspective. It's also the people are amazing. It's it's really I've been there I think 3 times, and it's amazing.
very
It's
cool.
completely different, and at the same time all the same.
I love it.
You have to try to experience it.
I will. I plan on it. All right. Finally, Ramon, for our listeners who'd like to get in touch with you, what's one of the best ways to do it?
Ramon at rsxmarketing.com. That inbox comes to me. I will see it and I respond to all the emails.
Excellent. Well, for everyone else, this is a wrap of this episode of Scaling Smart. I'm your host, Billy Mitchell, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Scaling Smart podcast, where we have conversations with real people who have real stories, who have learned how to scale smart.